Hello everyone, good day. Today I'm here with a tutorial on DaVinci grading for fashion and commercial advertising. The first things we need to pay attention to in color grading a project are we need to see what the project is being produced for and in what color range we want to create it. This project we're working on is fully completed and finalized. You can see that it almost touches zero, and if you look closely, you can see it in the vector scope. The saturation levels are really good and everything is perfectly balanced. They have really good contrast in the blue and teal areas, meaning they're in the cyan-orange range. Do you see how this part is touching the orange? We'll start everything, but it's important to have the project ready. Be sure to use manual contrast adjustments. The CSTs can't quite provide such a good range that you can later achieve a perfectly suitable color range. Alright, I'll come here, open up the intensities, and listen from this side as well. Let it happen. I'll press Alt plus P, and in the subsequent sections, I'll diligently try to work with the base. You can bring it much closer to the shadow. Just remember, the closer you get to the deep shadow, the more extensive and vibrant color range you will undoubtedly receive. This careful adjustment is crucial for optimal visual results. I press Alt and P, and in the next layer I move the highlights and shadows. For example, here I also set the layer tone from this side. I need to press K, and in this section I go to HDR primary and I reset the light bears and shadow. I set them to 0, then go back to the first layer and lift it. For example, up to this point we have it. In this section I adjust the sharpness. And here I enable the contrast. Be sure to make sure that this section is fixed with your contrast and set it to 32. You can see that this contrast is really clean and good. Now I go into the natural mode and adjust the saturation. You can see that the layers have opened up and we can see the blacks. So we go into the natural mode because from the very beginning they want that initial impact. I apply a bit of teal and then move to the next tab to increase the depth of the colors. We have their saturation and a very subtle teal, along with the oranges present in the image. I go to the next tab, and from the effects I want to select beauty. Before that I do this, and if you pay attention this face is being selected easily, because earlier we separated the colors individually and very well before this in Pinterest. Here I use the mask tools. This makes our work turn out really well, and this is it. I need to add the beauty effect to this part, to it. I turn on the layers one by one, look at its images, make sure it sits well on the work. This part is behind the glass and there's a film on the work, so it's natural for there to be a color contrast, and I move on to the next layer. In this part, when we want to work with effects, make sure the effects are also on separate layers. I press R2P. I will now establish another new layer here in this specific area, and its primary purpose is to define the border. That's it, for the initial first steps, so that the complete and final result appears clearly in the very next layer. In this particular section we can then use masks. The specific colors that I then want to apply to the cubes, I proceed to this particular section in order to do that. A set of various and different colors with effect and handwork. And it's very simple in Iran. From all sides, I have a question. Let me tell you the result and we'll check it again. If absolutely necessary, I can add a subtle touch of vibrant color and then, with careful consideration, proceed to the subsequent layer of artistic development. In this section I add the effects I need, and here I select the redial BR. And from the masks, I'll select the cycle and increase it. I will now proceed to reverse that particular indicator from this specific connection, effectively changing its state. Here I continue the green filter. I increase it. I exit the contrast filters, and in a curve, it still just works a little bit. Let's exit this as well. And in the end, the color I wanted is applied. Now I need to remove a bit of the teal from any color I wanted. And from here, the film's color is much closer to what I wanted. Added. Reset the filter. From here, I can adjust the main tone and the corner contrast. Now you can see that the blacks are in a really good state. I can adjust it from this panel. You can see that we've set the hue to 196 and the color range is here, and the value is almost exactly on its own line at 0. From this section I can apply the effect I want from the side, but the spillover doesn't show up as much as I'd like. Your color range is being cut and moved to another area in the space you have, so I'll place it here so you can clearly see that. So you can see the changes that the spill is making. First, I softened my mask, and I'm showing you which color ranges I'm selecting. By changing the pivot, you can see how easily I'm doing this. I can adjust my color ranges in their position layer by layer with the other layers as well. With this method, you can achieve an infinite range of colors. You can add different colors to this work. Now I'm going to add the last color I want. As you can see, all the settings we have here are for the lips. So we can increase it and fix this part. You check this step, and from the beginning you turn off the layer. And you check this part and you'll see that the film gear works really well. You're handling the contrasts, selections and other things well, and you should remove this step from your workflow. We'll do these confirmations with another method as well. Thank you for watching today. Have a great day.